You got to take the radiator off as well.
Well, it's on the wall, so I've got to take it off, haven't I?
What, in the bathroom?
Yeah, in the ensuite, I've got to take it off the wall.
And you're going to do it?
I would not attempt that myself.
Rob, you are the worst DIY person I know. I just think you're setting
Decorating,
yourself up.
tiling, sure, but plumbing.
I'm not going to... someone's going to put it back on the wall for me, but I've just got to take it off. I might actually,
Is that the emergency engineer?
I might get my mate Simon to come over, because he built his own house.
Of course he did.
That's Rob's friend number 4052.
He lives on the coast, so it's about an hour and a half.
Well, there you go. Obviously. And there's lots of water at the coast. Plumbing.
No, he's built his own house, and he actually... When I moved into when I bought the place, they kept going on about how I've got this free washing machine. They were like, "Oh, it comes with a free washing machine." I said, "I don't care. I've got a washing machine. It comes with a free washing. I don't give a shit. I've got a washing machine." Anyway, I moved in, and sure enough, there was this free washing machine, but it wasn't as good as my washing machine. So
where's the story going?
Just
actually say washing machine.
Just bear with me. So
washing machine.
At the time, Simon's washing machine had packed up.
I don't understand this story.
So what I said to him was, if you want, come round my place, you can have the washing machine from mine. So brilliant, he said. He got in his little van, he came all the way over to Lincoln.
Is this whole story about you gave someone a washing machine?
Let me just get to the point.
Oh, come on, please do.
So, he came out, and he goes to the washing machine, and he's like, "Rob, I can't get that washing machine out, that free washing machine."
A washing machine?
Why not? Said I. And he said, "Well, what's happened here is they put the washing machine in, and then they put the radiator on the wall. So the radiator was right in front of the washing machine, so you couldn't actually get the washing machine out without taking the radiator off."
This was your house?
In my house, yeah, which is why they kept saying you got a free washing machine. They didn't give a shit about giving me a free washing machine. They just couldn't be bothered to take the radiator off the wall to get the washing machine out. So, Simon took the radiator off the wall, extracted the washing machine, and put the radiator back on. That's how I know he can take a radiator off, because he's done it for me once before.
Right.
Thanks for that story.
Could have just said that your friends took a radiator off the wall.
I'm going to use that as the intro to this show, and it will be the only show where the intro is longer than the whole bleeding show. It's alive!
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to Empire Geek, and on the show this week we have...
Hang on, you haven't done the intro music.
I edit that in later.
When has he ever played the intro?
When we did the live one, we did it, but yeah. Right. I've only ever once done it, yeah.
Okay.
Some editing does take, place on this show.
Good.
Welcome to Empire Geek, and on the show this week we've got Raoul.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not too bad, and we've got Andy.
Good evening,
This is the original core team, the hardcore.
Yeah, back in the day where it all started.
Yeah. This is episode something like 31 or 32 now. We've been going a while. So what have you been up to this week? We'll start off with you, Raoul. You got a new car, haven't you?
Yeah, a banger with it's a Punto.
Do you know Andy's got a new car?
What have you got?
I've got a Civic.
Civic? Oh wow, what type of Civic?
Civic Type R.
No way.
Yeah.
Type R?
Yeah.
You're shitting me.
I've avoided telling him because
I
knew you were
Type R? What, how old?
5 years.
Oh, they're nice! Oh, that's rubbish. I mean, I'm pleased for you, that's good.
You should see the seats. You got nice seats, haven't you, as well? Are they leather seats? You got leather race seats.
What are the tyres like?
Buckets.
Oh my god, I nearly bought one of those.
It's I asked for Silverbird Grey, but I ended up with Alabaster Silver. So it's the closest I could get.
Man, I'm pleased for you. Very happy for you.
You can hear it in your voice. So, Rob, you bought a shit car this week.
Well,
Andy's got a nicer car.
But the thing is, my other car was even shitter. So
18's from.
I've actually upgraded. This one's only got like a rusty roof. The engine's fine, and it's only while the business is in a bit of a financial
Schlump.
Schlump, is that a word?
Schlumping is where you lower yourself down in the sofa.
Well, basically things are going a bit shit at the moment. but they'll get better in the new year.
Slump.
So, this time next year.
How many fucking shows have you said? This time next week. Just wondering, will I be a millionaire or a billionaire?
I said that in my New Year's all that time ago. This time next year, we'll all be going to Vegas first class.
I've not gone bust yet.
When are we off to Vegas this year?
I've not gone bust yet.
That's different from
I'm still,
we're all going to Vegas. Vegas boys.
I'm still surviving.
Still
I'm not out. I'm down, but I'm not out.
And that's the way we like you. You're a battler. Right, the first thing we're going to talk about is
300. How much was your top arm?
More than that.
We don't need to talk about money on here. Anyway, this week, so The Walking Dead has come back last week, but this week's episode was frigging awesome. Have you seen it?
No.
Well, when you do, I don't want to give anything away, obviously, to you or the listeners, but you know the character of Carol?
Yes.
She was already badass. She is super badass in this week's episode.
What have you done to her?
She just kicks ass. She can go from baking cakes to slitting someone's throat and playing flaming volleyball with the head in the blink of an eye. She is the ultimate badass. She's possibly my favourite character almost at the moment.
Brilliant.
Rick and Daryl aren't in this week's episode, and so you'd think, there's going to be a big hole there. Carol is just a kind of maelstrom of death and destruction and baking.
She sounds sexy.
I think that there's always something sexy about a woman who could slit your throat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always you find that quite attractive.
A woman that can slit your throat.
Could slit your throat, yeah.
The
power.
Not really. No, I think. Yeah.
She's cracking on a bit, Carol is. Considering in the comic book she dies at the prison, she allows a zombie to kill her. The TV Carol is very different. She's brilliant to see. She's a very good character. I'm hoping they don't kill her off, but she's a good example of someone who she's still kind of motherly and feminine, but then she beats the shit out of people and.
Well, I imagine like mothers of yore would have been like that. If you went near their babies, they'd have scratched your eyes out.
Yeah, but would they be handy in a zombie apocalypse?
Possibly.
She begins the whole series in a relationship where her husband beats her up, and by this point in it, she is an absolute ass kicker.
So she could go and beat her husband up, couldn't she?
He's dead.
But
yeah. So that was, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I just showed the guys it. It's in the news at the moment. There's this creepy viral video that's appearing of a guy stood in. It looks like a ruin. Like an old building, and he's wearing a long black robe and a long black pointed mask, a bit like a plague doctor, and it's been analysed by folks. Now, it was apparently hidden within this all these messages. There's some Morse code and stuff like that, and symbols, and when they decode them, apparently there's a hidden message. Oh, that's the name of it. The video's catchy title, which I can't read out because it's all binary 0111.
0101.
Apparently, when you convert the binary letters to into words, it becomes the Spanish word for death. The message gives the GPS coordinates for the White House, and it contains graphic images of a woman being tortured, and it warns you have 1 year or less. A description of the video also says it was posted to some Swedish tech blog, and in a DVD, and within the DVD they found all these other things such as satanic imagery.
You know what I think they made me actually remind me of? The Spanish Inquisition. The masks were very Inquisition-like.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. I wasn't expecting the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. And what they've also done is when you listen to this, an audio track which sounds like white noise, but apparently when you view that through a spectrogram, images appear within it. So let me show you.
So who thought we were going to put it through a spectrogram?
Well, this is what I'm going to get to, because people are saying we don't know who it is. Is it a warning against President Obama? So here's some pictures that we're looking at here. And one of them says, "You're already dead," hidden within the sound files. And another one, that weird noise is my dog. But if you were to decode the sound of a Labrador sleeping...
He's got hiccups.
I think he's dreaming.
And so here's the spectrogram, and it shows a skull. Now the skull, which you can find is all on the internet, the skull looks to me like a picture of one of those hologram skulls you get where you look at it from different angles that they've, on Photoshop, put in there. I don't believe necessarily that's part of it.
And what's all the writing next to the skull? Is that translates into something?
Supposedly, the numbers are the GPS coordinates of the White House, and the Morse code is a bit where this guy...
How do you know the numbers for the GPS... Because the thing is, you got a load of numbers, but how do you know necessarily they were GPS coordinates?
I imagine if this is genuinely something and not just some advertising scheme, that you could easily look at the numbers and work out coordinates. And I know that, but we play Ingress.
Yes.
The game Ingress, for those who didn't listen to last week's episode, is the best game in the world. It's like geocaching and you attack portals. I won't go into it. Listen to the last show. But you know those codes that we got where you can. I think you found them, didn't you? You found those codes.
Yeah, those codes.
They're all got through the most bizarre means, where people watch a video and within the video they decode stuff and get the numbers, which are then put into to work out the codes.
Right.
So the fact that they've managed to work out the GPS coordinates doesn't surprise me. There's people doing that all the time on games like Ingress as well. The Morse code in it, this with the weird guy in the long black robe and the pointy face mask, he has this light in his hand, and apparently it spells out "red lips like 10th," which is an anagram of "kill the president."
How red lips? So somebody sat there for ages to spell out "kill the president." This sounds like a big, viral advertising scam.
That's what I think. I don't think this is a threat against the president.
I don't think it is as well, because you'd be a bit of a nutcase to threaten the.
Well, if you say you did want to kill Obama, some people have gone, someone's going to murder Obama. If you're really going to kill him, would you really going to go to the trouble of letting him know through through a viral video that you spend ages filming?
Plus, as well, he's
the most protected man in the world.
Exactly, he's a security detail that is huge. There's no way you get within feet of him.
So no one knows what this is for. I think it's either for a game or a film.
Yeah.
Or it could be, like you said. You said it looks like some kind of, what are your words? Some kind of wanky student type.
Oh yeah. Well, as I was saying earlier, it looks like some kind of third-rate graduate, art film.
It does remind me a lot of your coursework from uni. So, yeah, it's. I think it's, but I like it. I think it's clever. And if they've hidden all those symbols in, I'm wondering if all this stuff is hidden in it, or if they pretended to send it to something, then have said, "Oh, we've had it decoded," and then given all this info, like that spectrogram thing. Has anyone else bothered to? I'm going to verify whether this is true or not.
You've got to get a hold of a spectrogram in the first place, and why would you need to use a spectrogram?
I don't know. I thought a spectrogram was how you send messages to ghosts. So, thank you very much, everybody.
That was awful.
So that was one of our first things. So what do you reckon? Do you think it's a prank or viral promotion?
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's viral promotion. It's interesting. I like stuff. The fact they've gone to the trouble to hide all those messages in it is pretty cool. Right, the next thing I wanted to talk about was last weekend, me and Lisa went to the Lakes Comic Art Festival, which is in Kendal up in Cumbria.
Do you have any Kendal mint cake?
We did indeed. Jesus Christ, the adventure we had trying to find that.
Trying to find some Kendal mint cake in Kendal.
All the time we were there, Elise kept saying, "Could we get some Kendal mint cake?" And so we were looking around.
Everywhere. It's common as muck up there.
It's common as muck everywhere. Do you know where they sell it? They sell it just up the road from here.
Yeah.
You can go and get it anywhere. So we had to go and try and find some. And I looked up places that stock it. And we did find some. And then she bought some Kendal mint cake. And then she opened it and realised it. But she bought some white and brown, thinking that the brown would be covered in chocolate. It's not. There's two different types of Kendal mint cake.
That's right, yes.
Then she went and bought some chocolate Kendal mint cake. And then she bought some for family and all stuff like that. The amount of fucking Kendal mint cake we've got at the moment.
Have you still got any left?
We do have. You know how you're decimated.
It's pure sugar, right?
You walked in tonight and said the diet's not going very well, with your hand lodged in a Pringles canister.
I don't even like them. It's cheese and onion Pringles, not the sour cream and.
But you were forcing handfuls of them in your mouth.
Well, it's food, isn't it?
How many is it left, Andy?
Not a lot.
Take a peek.
For someone who doesn't like them.
I was hungry. If a sugar tax, does come in, I'm going to be bankrupt, aren't I?
Well, you're already
already am.
Well, morally.
Yeah. I can't believe you don't like them. But anyway, so while we're at this, I wanted to just give a little bit of feedback, because to be honest, it was a really, really good Comic Arts Festival. The whole of Kendal was kind of involved, so it wasn't just in one place.
I thought Telly Savalas was dead.
He is. It was quite funny. I'll talk about the Telly Savalas bit in a minute.
Do you auto cue before I?
Yeah. Don't. It's not an auto cue. It's to help us all.
Yeah, bit notes.
Yeah, you are ruining the podcast, you dick.
Sorry.
So anyway, it doesn't matter. While we were there, one of the places was, as I said, it's spread out over Kendal. There's lots of different things going on. There's the main hub, and there's this. I've noticed as soon as you're not talking, you start yawning and falling asleep. You're so rude.
I'm not falling asleep. I'm listening.
You do, didn't he just all the time at the pub? He's like,
I've had a long day.
not talking about me. I've only slept 2 minutes in the last 3 weeks. Investors, dude. So we went there, and as I said, it's spread out over Kendal, and it's really, really good. And one of the things was there's this bar, and they did a thing called the Walk-In Dead. And as I was walking towards
That's cool.
Charlie Adlard, who draws the Walking Dead comic book, walked past me, and I was like, and you know when you see someone, I think that is fucking Charlie Adlard. Because in every picture I ever see of him in promoting stuff, it's him in this leather jacket with his long hair back, pointing with a big smile on his face. You know what? He was wearing exactly the same clothes. I think he probably only owns one set of clothes.
Does he never wash?
I didn't get close enough to have a sniff. He looked, to me, he had a little bit of the Daryl from Walking Dead. I think he probably showers more than him, because he's not in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. But he looked like a cool guy, and he's walking down the street, and I saw him. And then we went to that bar, and I said, "Did I just see Charlie Adlard walk past?" And they went, "Yeah, he's signing books here." So I went in, and they had a big zombie made up like one of Michonne's zombies with the arms chopped off and a chain round it. His throat. It was really good. They were giving away free comic books inside, free graphic novels. I got a copy of Turf, Jonathan Ross's book. They saved the books from the year before, give them away free at this.
Jonathan Ross, the
TV presenter.
He's a comic book, is he?
He's a massive comic book fan.
Well, I know that, but has he written one?
Yeah, it's called Turf.
I didn't know about that.
Pretty good as well. We might actually review it on the show since it's technically kind of homegrown type stuff.
Cool.
One of the other things we went to this, the Viz comic.
Viz. Yes. Viz.
They had this thing.
Can't
you tell us your Viz story?
No, I'm just saying when I was 5 years old, I remember we were staying around my uncle's house, and he had all these Viz comics on the shelf, all these Viz annuals, and I was told by my dad, and in no account was I to read them because they were really filthy and disgusting. Now I went to bed, I heard all this laughter from downstairs, so I went downstairs, and it was my dad and my uncle reading it. Not really a good story. Anyway, carry on.
Oh, was there a washing machine in that story?
No.
So
took the radio off the wall.
What they've done is some guy, I don't know if it was actually the Viz people, they set up this big kind of table, and it's like a huge train set without any trains with all little buildings on it, and they had a projection of Telly Savalas, and you could press a button and Telly Savalas would talk to you about Fulchester, which is the imaginary town where Viz all takes place. And what they've done is Telly Savalas must have at some point done some kind of review of an American city to promote it, and they've took that audio, and then whenever he names the city, you hear this little Geordie voice go, "Fulchester." So it was good. Now, one of the other things I met there was I went into the main central hub, and there was this lady sat behind this table, and there was this old dude near her, and I go over and she says, "Do you like science fiction?" And I went, "Yeah, I do." And she went, "You'll know him then." And she says, "Do you know Jeff Hawke?" I went, "No." I thought, is this Tony Hawk's less well-known cousin? Or maybe his grandpa, who's still skateboarding. Jeff Hawke was I actually have heard of it after, because they told me anyway, but the Jeff Hawke was a sci-fi comic strip that ran in the Telegraph newspaper. And the guy who does it is about 88 years old, whatever now.
The Telegraph?
It was in the Telegraph, yeah. For years it was in the Telegraph. Oh, so no, Daily Express, I'm telling the lie. They told me it was in the Telegraph, the lying gits. I'm sure they said it was Telegraph. Maybe it was in both of them. But when they told me at the time, I copied that on myself, but I'm so sure. And Sidney Jordan, the guy who did it, was there. And considering that he is about 1,000 years old now, he looks amazing. He doesn't look his age. He must have some kind of cryogenic kind of chamber.
He was?
I think he's in his 80s.
And how do you think he looks?
I would say if someone said to me he was 60s, I would buy it. Yeah, he looks about probably 20 years younger than what he really is.
Right.
And he's spry and everything. He comes over and I got chatting to him. And so this is exactly what this podcast is about. Kind of, I like stuff like that. This guy who did this strip for years and years, he's got loads of material. He's put them into that graphic novel form now. But he's trying to get out there because they don't feature it in the Daily Express anymore. He is got all this artwork he's done, this massive backlog of work, what's he going to do with it now? So he's trying to kind of get it out there and make something from it. And so he started up this group, which is the Jeff Hawke Club. If you go to Jeff Hawke, HAWKE club.co.uk, and he wasn't selling individual comics there. Yeah, you swallowed that yawn, Raoul. He wasn't selling individual comics. You can sign up for this kind of membership to the club and you get sent a number a year. Right. Which I don't like as a model, really, because if I'm at a comic book convention, I want to buy a comic.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to sign up to get
a comic.
3 comics later on. Admittedly, he would sign one of the panels. He had blown up versions of his original artwork that he'd sign, which is a cool thing. But I've got his number, and I wouldn't mind quite chatting to him at some point. Maybe getting an interview with him on the show, because he's a proper kind of an old ledge as far as British comic art goes. But they get forgetting so quickly.
Well, particularly if it's in newspapers as well, because newspapers, people don't tend to keep newspapers or save newspapers. Or, they get thrown away. And also, cartoons in newspapers are now seen as a dying art, a lesser form, but very few newspapers are carrying them.
Yeah. Jeff Hawke is very well drawn. It's very, very good, the artwork in it. So I was really interested in buying one of these books, but I had to sign up to it, and I didn't have 25 quid on me.
Wow.
But I've got the mail order thing.
25 quid to sign up?
Sign up for a year, that is.
Okay, that's awesome.
You get 3 books within that time, which is actually quite good since, and they are thick books, and the artwork's great in them. So there's a plug there for the jeffhawkeclub.co.uk. Have a look at it. Sidney Jordan is a proper legend of British comic art. Probably not as well known as he should be. So look up. We're going to do more on him. I would very much like to speak to him and get him on the show. But that was the Lakes Comic Art Festival. It was absolutely brilliant. And I met a bunch of people who actually spoke about on the show recently. One of them being the Comic of the Week, which this week is the Arrival, which we'll talk about later on in the show. And that was Yomi Ayeni. And hopefully we're going to get an interview with him on the show because he's given me his email.
Cool.
He is a cool dude.
And it looks a cool book as well. I really like the artwork.
We'll talk about that later. That's going to be our book later on. So yeah, that was the Lakes Comic Art Festival, and it was bloody cool. I would definitely go again, and it's the kind of place I want to sell my wares. Next thing we're going to talk about is the X-Files. A couple of weeks ago, they released an animated kind of teaser for the new X-Files series that's coming out next year. It's going to be released late January 2016. A trailer for the show, a proper film trailer, was released yesterday. So we've looked at it. Are you excited for the X-Files, Raoul?
I didn't really like it the first time. It wasn't like I didn't really like it. I was more kind of indifferent to it.
You miserable twat.
So it's hard for me to be excited. I haven't got that nostalgic, feeling in my gut, like you boys have. I'm just kind, I think if there's something that you really, really like from your past and it comes back, you're automatically a bit biased towards liking it anyway, whether it's any good or not.
Not always. There's some stuff which is from the past. Like, I always wanted him to bring Jim or Fix It back, but that all got poo-pooed.
Yeah, so I'm not excited, but I will watch it, and I look forward to watching it, but I'm not thinking, whoopie-doo, they've made one.
What about you, Andy? You were an X-Files fan, weren't you?
Yeah, I always watched it as a kid. Some of it was pretty scary at the time, but I thought it was always really, the shows were always really well put together. And
do you remember there's an episode and the main character, the bad guy's called something Toombs in it, Eugene Toombs or something, and he's the guy who can squeeze through vents, and I think he eats the livers or something.
Yeah,
that was one of the most famous.
Where it was all these green bugs where it goes dark at night, and then they had to try and keep the generator on all night, else these bugs would just consume you and eat you to death.
Yeah, I was a massive fan, and I used to get the X-Files comic book every week.
Do you want to believe?
Yes, I do.
What was all that Smoking Man stuff as well? Did that ever get resolved?
He died.
Oh.
He had cancer. I think he died, didn't he, the Smoking Man? Yeah, I think
the
he
guy
died,
who was always sort of
smoking
in the background, yeah.
Stuffing things up for
He worked for the some kind of secret organisation, didn't he? The government.
Something like that.
I didn't watch the films, to be honest, the X-Files films. I wasn't really as interested in cinema. So one of them was about oil and stuff, I think, and it didn't really intrigue me that
much. Do they make films?
I think
they did that 2 films, I think.
Was there one film called The Truth Is Out There, or?
Yes, I think so. It didn't appeal to me as a film. I liked it as a TV show.
Yeah.
For me, X-Files kick-started a new wave of sci-fi interest. Before X-Files, I'm trying to think of what I used to really watch, and it was all repeats stuff like Buck Rogers, and then X-Files came out, and then on the back of X-Files, there's all loads of other shows that I started watching.
Babylon 5 and...
Yeah, for me it was the beginning of what I see as a
golden
golden era of television. So I'm really, really looking forward to it, particularly because they brought back Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. Because in the last season or so, you got Doggett, Fox and Mulder wanting it, David Duchovny wanting it, Gillian Anderson left, they had a different pair. So I think Robert Patrick was one of them. I'd stopped watching it by that point.
Yeah, well that's probably what killed it, really.
When your two main stars go, yeah, it does kind of... but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them back. I cannot wait for it.
Do you think they're doing it so they're short of a few quid?
I don't think so. David Duchovny was in Californication.
Which would have made him megabucks.
Gillian Anderson has been in a bunch of different shows. She's been in some period dramas. She was in Hannibal, which got cancelled recently.
What was that British cop show that she was in last year?
The Bill.
No, not The Bill.
No.
She had a British accent in it.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. But yeah, they've both been kept really busy. I just think they want to come back to it because they probably enjoyed being in it, and it was a good show. Is it going to be as good? Like you said, I think it's a good point. Is it going to be as good as we remember? There's been lots of other shows that have kind of pushed the boundaries.
The thing as well is, I mean, when you first watched the film, the TV series, the X-Files, the original X-Files, you'd have all been kids anyway, or quite young, in your early teens, and now you're not. You're all old farts. So your perceptions.
Speak for yourself.
You know what I mean? Your taste and your perceptions and all this kind of stuff, they're different.
I still love Buck Rogers. I love Buck Rogers then.
Yeah,
that's not changed.
Things, yeah.
What was good about the first episode of the X-Files was they said at the beginning, based on a true story, which at the time I assumed that to put that in a TV show, it had to be true.
Well, yeah, you would do that.
But no, you can lie. You can lie. You can put anything was based on a true story.
Wasn't there that David Dimbleby and a few others? It was many, many years ago. They tried to make out that the world, the UK was under some nuclear threat, and we were all going to die. And it was on the radio, and loads of people believed it.
Probably, yeah. Well, that's a bit like the old War of the Worlds one, isn't it? With when they convinced everyone they invaded. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The next thing I want to talk about is Jekyll and Hyde, which is a new series that starts this weekend, if I can get the show out before it opens and starts. It's going to be on ITV. It's conceived by Charlie Higson, who used to be in The Fast Show, and also wrote the young James Bond novels. And this is about the story of Jekyll and Hyde, but I think it's the grandson of the original Dr. Jekyll. And it's set in 1930s London, and it's a time of Hollywood glamour, aerodynamic cars and monster movies. And so it's supposedly meant to be more like a superhero type take on it, where Jekyll works for some organisation, which is a secret organisation, which Richard E. Grant is the leader of, Bulstrode. It's a secret government organisation called MI0, known as the Invisible Men. And so it's going to be him investigating, I'm guessing, weird stuff that's going on. Did you see the big lobster clawed man in the clip?
Yes.
I love stuff like that.
So they made Hyde a superhero goodie type character.
I think what it's going to be is probably more along the lines of the Hulk.
Right.
Because the Hulk is clearly based on Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
I think they've looked at how successful the Hulk is and gone, screw you, let's go back to the source material. The idea that you have Dr. Jekyll, the smart, clever guy, but he can turn into this completely amoral, superpowered arsehole.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it will be is trying to get Hyde to do the right thing, which could make a really good show.
Yeah, because it's the internal struggle, the internal battle. Because with Hyde is aware of Jekyll, and Jekyll's aware of Hyde. Whereas with the Hulk, only Banner's really aware of the Hulk. The Hulk isn't really aware of the Banner. So the idea that they can be fighting for whichever identity.
Especially if they're both being used for good, but one of them's doing it for his... Because if it goes really well, it would be quite cool to have the Hyde character end up as being the baddie of the first, season or whatever. He turns around, screws them all over. First season finishes, sets you up brilliantly for the next one.
Yes.
Everyone's out to get Jekyll because of what Hyde did.
Yeah.
So it'll be, I think it'll be quite interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, it's got Richard E. Grant in it. He's always good.
He's consistently good, yeah.
So then Tom Bateman is the lead role as Robert Jekyll. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So watch out for that one. So that's this week. If you are not in Britain, I'm sure you can get it on iPlayer. Not iPlayer, it's ITV, isn't it? It'll be on...
Well, you can. What you'll need to do is use a VPN so that you can...
You need a visible panty line.
A virtual private network.
Oh, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, go to HMA... Hide My Ass, I think it is. Google Hide My Ass.
Is that your personal website?
No, it's the name of this VPN. It's a good one. It's like an easy-to-use, idiot-proof one. Install it, select a UK server, and watch as much British telly as you like.
There you go. Now, next thing we want to talk about is another new show which is coming in November of this year, and it's the Frankenstein Chronicles, which includes not Sean Connery. It's about a man who walks around punching people, women in the face. It stars Sean Bean as the main character, John Marlett, and it has Mary Shelley's going to be in it as a character, the original writer of Frankenstein, not the real Mary Shelley. She's dead now. Yeah, she's not done much telly lately, has she? Stephen Burkoff's in it as William Blake, and it looks like, well, I like anything with Sean Bean in. I hope they don't kill him off, obviously.
So hang on, they've got William Blake and Mary Shelley as characters in this.
Yes.
So what's the premise? It's about the people writing...
The premise of it is that the book's been written.
Right.
And from what I remember, we spoke about this yonks ago on one of our earlier shows. If I'm right, this body gets washed up in a sewer near the Thames or whatever. They get it, and then they realise that it's been stitched together. I think it's a baby that's been all stitched together from parts.
Right.
And that leads Sean Bean's character into trying to find out what's going on. And then the monster, Frankenstein's monster, someone has made this huge towering monster.
Oh, so they've read the book and been inspired.
I think that's what it is. I don't fully know. I do explain the storyline a bit better on an earlier episode.
William Blake was a bit of a nutcase anyway, so
Yeah, well, he did some weird shit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is he the one who did that? Tiger, burning bright. Tiger, running fast. Don't you dare take a bite of my ass.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what that.
That was the less popular follow-up to it.
I think there was he did Jerusalem and he did like all those what's that stuff. He was obsessed with like hell and and I can't remember. It's been years since I read his stuff.
Yeah, famous dude. Are you a fan of Blake?
Oh, big time.
But we saw the trailer for it and it's out. What did you think? Did you like the look of it?
Yeah.
Sean Bean's always cool, isn't it?
That's it. Sean. I think again, it's got a good cast. It looked like it was set appropriately, so I wouldn't say I was blown away by it. You didn't really see much, monster action.
Yeah.
But what are you laughing?
Give me some monster action.
Monster action. So it'll be interesting to see where they take it. Because, especially like that new Frankenstein film that's due to be released soon.
Yeah, that's what balls. Did you see the Frankenstein that they did with where they had the two actors and they switched over each night? I think Benedict Cumberbatch was in it.
They switched over? How do you mean?
Well, there was two actors. It was a stage play, but they showed some at the Odeon. And one night, one of the actors, both well-known actors, one of them was old Benedict Cumberbatch.
Was that the one where he told people not to be on their phones so he found it distracting?
It might have been, which good on him. But one night, one would be the Doctor and one the monster, and then the next night they switch round. So you never knew who was going to be who when you went to watch it.
I didn't see that.
For a lol. It was, at the time, it was, I can't remember who was behind it. But yeah, they showed some of them at the Odeon and stuff like that. I cannot wait. I've been dying to see a cool Frankenstein film or show. Do you remember that terrible film, Van Helsing?
Oh yes, that was awful.
Yeah, that was the opera singing Frankenstein in it.
It was a bit of a retard. I mean, I know Frankenstein should be a bit stupid and a bit dumb, but I mean, there was a level.
But Dracula was so shit in it as well.
Yeah.
They were hoping that Van Halen was going to... Not Van Halen.
Did he jump?
That'd be good.
What, Eddie himself?
I'd love it. I'd love it if they did a Van Halen film with Van Halen fighting off vampires. That's what they need to do.
It.
Yeah.
Just using his guitar to,
Big poodle haircut.
smash them. Yeah.
Right, moving on to the next thing. This is a Kickstarter story. I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th. I used to live with a guy who was the biggest fan
Didn't
ever.
he have what was it? What was it? He had tattooed on his back. Was it Jason? Or was that on his arm? I can't remember.
I had a friend called Matt at university, and when I was at university, and we actually shared a house for a time, and he liked Hellraiser, he liked Friday the 13th, loved Jason, was his favourite character, but he had Pinhead from Hellraiser tattooed on his arm. He had it specially designed for him.
What was on his chest?
He had a personalised Jason Voorhees mask on his chest.
Yeah.
His Pinhead tattoo, which he said to me, it's a unique one, no one's got one. We were once in a pub and this big fat woman walked in, exact same tattoo on her arm. We're like, I thought that was a unique one. That lady over there's got it. He was absolutely gutted. But anyway, so if you go on Kickstarter now, there is a Kickstarter campaign for a Friday the 13th game.
Yes.
So this is going to be, it's going to be a third-person, asymmetrical multiplayer title where it's 7-on-1. 7 people play as camp counsellors, and one of them plays as Jason. So, from the look of the game and what I've heard about it, when you read up on it, they've really gone into. They've got Tom Savini involved to sort out, what the kills look like. So, if you're Jason, you can pick up a camp counsellor, drag them over to some spikes and throw them on it. You can, I imagine they'll allow them to pick someone up in a sleeping bag and beat them around the head with it. It's going to be an adult game. They want it to stay very true to the film. Now, if you go on Kickstarter, there's a nice video about it. What did you feel?
I thought the concept was actually pretty solid, and the idea that you've got this one psycho, crazy, hard as nails, tough guy coming after all these counsellors, and these counsellors have to they can either work together or they can. They can basically be solo and screw their friend over. For example, they used one example in the video of they've got a boat and the boat can only hold 2 people, so you've got to get to the boat before your friend.
Yeah.
I thought that kind of whole flight or fight kind of.
What kind of instinct have you got?
My instinct.
Are you a fight or flight kind of guy?
I'll probably shit my pants and run. What would you do? Come on, you got some dude with chainsaws and axes and hockey sticks.
I think I'd run if I saw someone.
It's a machete with Jason. He has a big machete. Yeah. What do you think then about this? The whole idea then of this muscled up kind of monster wandering around hunting down young juveniles. Have you been out to the nightclubs lately, Andy?
Your tone just changed straight away.
It reminds me a bit of the game Evolve that's been out for a little while, where you have a bunch of hunters fighting a monster that slowly gets stronger as it goes on. I think it's a really interesting sounding game. What I want to see is, surely there's points for doing stuff. So in all of the Friday the 13th films, 2 people cop off, Jason catches him and sticks a sword straight through them or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get stuff by doing certain things.
So you cop off without dying.
If you can do that, I suppose.
Cop off, don't get killed, get points.
And like you said, the characters have different skills. Like you've got the jock.
Yeah.
You've got the girl next door who's likely to survive it. They said she might be more likely to be able to kill Jason in it.
And you had the cool guy.
Yeah.
With his leather jacket and his shades.
Who might be better at fighting or whatever, or something like that. So what I liked about this is they've got Sean S. Cunningham, the original director of Friday the 13th, involved.
Yeah.
Because I think he contacted them. They were making another game, something like, and then he got involved and said,
"Yeah, the other game. It was a game they were making, like a camp slasher type game, and he heard about this because it was inspired by Friday the 13th. And thought, I'll get in touch with them, and the rest is history."
And they also Kane Hodder, who played Jason in about 3 different films. I think it was Friday the 13th, 7 to 9. I think he was in. So they're all involved with it, and they're actually going to use Kane Hodder for motion capture.
Oh, right.
So when Jason moves, you are seeing to a lot of people, Kane Hodder is Jason.
But how long Kane Hodder been out of action? Because I'm heavier than I used to be. I certainly waddle more.
He looks like he's in pretty good shape, to be honest. Kane Hodder does. I think he works out regularly. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't.
Well, I don't.
How's the training program?
Awful.
How's the Pringles doing?
Have you been going down the gym?
No.
What? You've not seen your big muscle friends lately?
No. I've been busy. Life's got in the way again.
Also.
Can you stop towing the recording device? So the next thing was, so would you buy this game when it came out?
How much is it going to be?
I have no idea.
Well, that's the point. If it was priced like other games, probably I would. Yes.
It can't be any more, surely.
What platforms are it going to be available for? I guess they'll probably make it for Steam.
Yeah, it'd be nice
So
to see it on
you
on PlayStation or something like that, so I could play it. Because I don't go in for that Steam.
I haven't got. I've only got my laptop, so it has to be Steam or nothing for me. So.
Yeah, I've got on all of them. What I'm thinking is that I know what I've heard is that when you finished the game, is that it makes like a fake movie trailer and it shows you all of the deaths on it in like a cinematic form. Is it a game that you're going to want to replay? It sounds like something that you sit down with your mates.
But the thing is, the best games are. I mean, occasionally a few of my buddies come over, we play this game called Towerfall, which is like a platform running around, shooting each other with bows and arrows. Another game called Nidhogg, where you're running around with swords and stuff. And the games are only designed to be played in there is no kind of playing against the computer mode in these games. You have to play, against your friends.
That game you just solely play with other gamers. You can't play against a computer.
Yeah, they said they were thinking about making a single player thing. I don't like playing with other people.
But the thing is, that's what makes it. Because if you're...
But surely, Rob, you've, as well as, obviously, you like it when your friends come around and get involved, but you must have had hours of playing, with yourself. You look like the sort.
Yeah. Well, I don't play games by myself, so... thing is, when you're in a group... Right, when you've got a load of you...
And you've got your joystick out.
Yeah.
Well, they're D-pads, aren't they? I don't know what do you call the controller now?
The D-pad.
The D-pad. I mean, it used to be...
Do you have to wear a D-pad? Tenor are making them now. I saw an advert in a toilet for these special panty liners for men who keep...
They used to call them D-pad, now they're just called the controller. But the thing is...
If you were a drug dealer, would you be known as D-pad?
D-pad. That sounds like an Asian gangster, doesn't
D-pad.
it? D-pad. Sorry, that's a bit racist.
So, Con, you on about... You're playing with your friend?
Yeah, so you've got your pals around, and the fact that you're all trying to kill each other is a good laugh. And you're swearing at each other, you're being quite abusive towards each other, it's good fun. And then you order pizza, and the guy from Domino's shows up at the door where your mates are in the living room pretending to have sex with each other and murder each other, making all kinds of weird noises, and you have to explain to the guy from Domino's that it's just your mates taking the piss.
But then you have to explain to your mates how the pizza all disappeared between the door and gets to the living room.
He only brought one slice to it. What it would be is, like any party where Raoul's involved, it would be, let's get pizza, and he's like, get a vegetarian one.
I like vegetarian pizzas.
But you fucking dominate the meat one, and then there's a vegetarian that no one wants to eat.
Skills.
That's why I always say, I want to get my own pizza. I don't want to share. Oh, I don't want to share, but no. I want a pepperoni pizza. I don't want some other greasy bastard putting the hands on my pizza. Hands off.
I want to put my hands on your pizza.
I don't want someone touching my pepperoni.
You like vegetarian, don't you?
Exactly, I like vegetarian pizza.
You pretend to like vegetarian.
No,
it's part of your pretense of being healthy, isn't it? Are you vegetarian pizza?
It's less healthy. You've got more carbs. You haven't got as much protein on a vegetarian pizza.
Why don't you like meat?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I like meat because
if
I say I like meat, Reynolds is going to edit that, and that's going to be like the intro to the podcast. Me saying I like meat.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. You've given me what I need. No, but I just don't want someone touching my pizza. You'll be the same. Would you want someone, grabbing hold of your salami when it gets brought in?
No, I wouldn't want anyone else grabbing hold of my salami.
Right, now back on topic. If you are a fan of the actual films Friday the 13th, they did originally announce it was going to come out on January Sorry, not. It's going to come out on May the 13th, 2016. It's been pushed back now till January the 13th, 2017. So you're not going to have a film for quite a while. So if you are a fan, go look at this Kickstarter. Well worth looking at. So that's on Kickstarter. It's got over half of the money they need. They need something like 700,000, and they've got 400,000. Yes,
that's surprisingly cheap for a game.
Yeah,
of cinematic one of that style, of that size. That's not.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Bad.
Would you put any money in for it?
How much?
I don't know.
I'm a bit skint at the moment. If I had a few bob.
You are pretty good though for backing stuff, aren't you?
Oh, I do back stuff.
Even your T-shirt that you got on at the moment says I kickstarted the Amiga 30th.
Yeah, this was for the Amiga 30th birthday party.
I guessed that from it saying I kickstarted the Amiga 30th.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like about that is that first of all, it's nice to see you actually leave your house without wearing that shit TARDIS T-shirt.
He loves that T-shirt.
It's a good T-shirt, by the way.
It is a good T-shirt. That's my favourite T-shirt.
I know, that's all
and
you
the
wear.
only reason why I'm wearing this T-shirt is because my shit TARDIS T-shirt, which isn't shit by the way, needs to go in the washing machine because I've worn it so long and starting to smell of it.
I don't doubt that.
Well, right.
Yeah.
You'll be getting days of that.
I'm a little disappointed with this Amiga 30th birthday party T-shirt though, because I don't know about you, but I look at it and I think it just looks a bit shit.
Well, it suits the Amiga.
But the thing is
that the Amiga logo?
It is and it isn't. It's the boing ball, and there's a bit of an issue with the whole basically when
I just look at you and I see that logo and just think one ball. That's all.
Juanaka.
Yeah.
Juan.
I understand that your English name
is Juan Naka.
We can't do references which the audience won't get. They don't know what they do now.
Juan as in one.
They
Naka.
get it. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is there was a big announcement from the Doctor Who people. They said, this was last week or might have been the week before, they said we've got a big announcement coming out. And when they announced it, it was this Doctor Who class. It's set in the Doctor Who universe. It's set at Coal Hill School. And it's going to be 8 45-minute episodes written by Patrick Ness, produced by Stephen Moffat, Patrick Ness and some other dude. And it's going to be set in the school, which was featured featured quite heavily last season in Doctor Who.
Yes.
Does that excite you?
No.
Does it bore the shit out of you?
Yes.
Have you had enough of that fucking school?
Yes.
It's just going to be like a wanky grain chilled with a few aliens.
Yes.
Yeah. No one wants this. No one wants it, BBC.
So one thing that started really, really grind my gears of late. You know those stupid Sonic sunglasses? Peter Capaldi has got the most amazing eyes, the most the eyebrows, all of that, and they choose to cover them up with that stupid, bloody Sonic sunglass thing.
Sonic sunglasses are not cool.
They're
a
not
Sonic
cool.
screwdriver is cool.
Exactly. So they're just. I don't know. It's almost as if they're making it shit.
I've not actually seen the last 2 episodes of Doctor Who. I intend to, but I don't feel.
I'll be careful on the spot. I mean, the last 2 episodes, there's some interesting stuff that's happened, but it is beginning to get a bit needlessly silly, I think.
Yes, I think that people said about him being a bit too grumpy. They're trying to make him too fun. He ain't fucking fun. He's a miserable shit who rides around in a TARDIS being rude to people.
Exactly.
That's what we want.
Exactly. So, and I think Peter Capaldi, as the Doctor, as a character, I think he has the potential to be the best of them all. But they're just not giving him the good enough material.
Yeah, I think they're wasting of it. I hate the Sonic sunglasses. I hope that they get broken and he goes back to a screwdriver. Sonic sunglasses is a shit idea.
Well,
it's just a pair of sunglasses. There's nothing special about them.
I'm going to be quiet because stuff does happen in the last 2 episodes.
Does someone punch them in the face and then break your sunglasses and then say, "Go back to Sonic screwdriver"? They're shit.
Not quite like that, but the Sonic sunglasses do get broken. I'm just hoping that we don't see them ever again.
But he's lost his Sonic screwdriver or something, hasn't he? That's what they say. He gave it to Davros, or did Davros have it? Or
have you seen that episode?
I've seen one with Davros in, yeah.
Right. Okay. So you know that you saw the one where he threw the Sonic screwdriver
to the boy.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the premise as to why he doesn't have the screwdriver.
But surely when he went and got the boy at the end, he'd be like, "Can I have my screwdriver back?"
Well, logically, yeah. So that's what I don't quite get.
Because like for the last 2,000 years, I've been travelling around the galaxy saving it with my sonic screwdriver. I'm just fucking giving it away.
Yeah, it's all got a bit. And there's also the whole idea of when the sonic screwdriver was being used to calculate the maths.
Yes, for the day of the Doctor or whatever.
Yeah. In order to shift Gallifrey and all that kind of stuff. So it's like they're gearing up for a massive reboot, really, almost. But in a way, it's a bit difficult now. Where do they go? Because do they keep running? Because Doctor Who has been going for 50 years, even though it was off air for a large chunk of that time. Are they? I'm worried they're just gonna what's the word? Over-egg the pudding or ruin it by
jump the shark and ruin it.
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm worried they're going to jump the shark.
Do you know what they need to do? They need to forget about this class show, and they need to make some short mini episodes of Paul McGann's Doctor. That's what everyone wants.
Yes, and they could even elaborate on the War Doctor. They could actually go back and because the beauty of him being a Time Lord and all this kind of stuff, they could even include it so that Peter Capaldi's Doctor goes back and meets these other Doctors they wanted to.
I think Big Finish, the audio ones, are doing a box set of War Doctor stories you can get, which sounds
cool.
cool.
War Doctor, I thought, what a cool character! Like the whole idea behind the whole backstory, the fact that you see the fact that it's John Hurt as well, so he's like old and weathered anyway, but you get the impression he started off as quite a physically young Doctor, so he would have aged. That's the other thing I don't quite understand, how the Doctor ages, because if he starts off really, really old and he can potentially live for 500 years before he needs to regenerate, surely the damage to his body, the aging process.
So it doesn't make sense the fact that sometimes he comes back as an older man, like Peter Capaldi now. So is he not going to live as long?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the argument would be that he ages, but then he regenerates and comes back, and his physical form probably isn't as. So
he might look old, but not actually be biologically old.
That's what I guess the shit excuse for it would be. But yeah, I don't want this. I want Paul McGann back in the TARDIS, showing us some stories leading up to where he appears on Skaro and drinks that potion and regenerates.
Yeah,
because he was really good in that little short that they showed.
I thought he was wasted really, and again I think Capaldi is wasted, and I thought John Hurt was wasted. It's John bloody Hurt, for goodness sake. He's like a rock star of acting.
Even when old David Tennant, or it might there's some scenes. I think it's in David Tennant's Doctor. It might be before him. There's some scenes where they're talking about. I saw him disappear into the mouth of the Nightmare Child. They just mention some things in the very early episodes of the new one to do with this time war. There's so much scope for them to.
Well, they could really elaborate on it. It was almost as if that entire season building up to. In fact, the last few seasons before were just building up to that one point, but when they got to that point, they just kind of skipped over it. This big war was almost like just a footnote.
Yeah,
it was like it wasn't really anything.
Yeah, I think it's a real shame. They need to do more. Maybe they will. I don't think they will. But right, which now brings us on to Ultimo Geek, and so who's winning so far in Ultimo Geek?
Getting pegged back all the time. I've been having a bad run of.
You're probably winning.
Now I think last episode Paul won, didn't he?
Yeah, it was
just. I came second.
Yes, on the old James Bond thing.
Seconds.
Right, this Ultimo Geek is called Name That Show. I will describe a show for you. I'll give you 4 different options. You need to tell me which show do you think it is that I'm talking about. So you've got the premise of it. It's a nice simple quiz. Play along at home as always. So, a pilot is hurled light years from his own galaxy by a freak spatial phenomenon and finds himself befriending aliens. Is that A, 1, Andromeda, 2, Farscape, 3, Space Above and Beyond, or 4, Odyssey 5? So, I've got your answer. What do you reckon, Andy? What are you going to go with?
Have you got my answer?
And I've got your answer. And Raoul, you've got 1 point there. It was Farscape.
Oh.
Hard cheeser, Andy. Next one. This show follows the adventures of a spaceship on a 5-year mission to seek out life and civilizations. Is it Lost in Space? 2. Star Trek. 3. The Outer Limits. Or 4. Battlestar Galactica? Right, I've got your answer, Andy. I'm going to have to press you. Right, I've got your answer. Before I give you... I've locked your answers in. Space, the final frontier. This is the stories of the Starship Enterprise. It's 5-year mission to seek out life and new civilizations and boldly go.
I thought Star Trek was longer than 5 years. That's why I didn't pick it.
It was a 5-year mission, the original. That's what he said.
But 5 years is bugger all.
Well, that's what the original mission was. 5-year mission.
Bullshit. You can't. Space is so vast. 5 years ain't going to cut it, even with hyperspeed technology.
I'm not Gene friggin' Roddenberry.
But I thought Gene friggin' Roddenberry. I thought
Roddenberry.
I thought
he
was pretty accurate in his scientific speculations.
What, warp drive?
Yeah.
With dilithium crystals?
Yeah.
Teleporters?
Yeah.
Which they've kind of, but it doesn't work.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Star Trek which is...
I think you're derailing the quiz now with this argument.
Okay, let's...
I didn't write pissing Star Trek. Right. Yeah, it was originally a 5-year mission.
I'm still winning at this point.
You're 1 point to Andy's 0. Next one. Architect David Vincent stops off in a ghost town for some rest and discovers aliens landing. He must now attempt to convince others that the aliens are trying to take over. Is that 1. The Invaders, 2. Invasion, 3. V, or 4. Logan's Run? Got your answer, Raoul. And it's now 2 points to Raoul, 0 to... Come on, Andy, you've got to...
I haven't even heard of his Logan's Run. I've never heard of
Logan's Run was this weird thing. Basically, we'd all be dead by now because we're too old.
Yeah, and you get
Was that
30.
the film? I've seen the film.
Jenny Agutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot the dude's name.
Yeah, where you go to Carousel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you can have a painful death or a pleasant death depending on if you're willing to go quietly or not.
Yeah, that was The Invaders, a Quinn Martin production. That was the one where the aliens had their little fingers stuck out when they drink, so you could spot them.
Yeah.
So he'd go to some town, speak to the sheriff. There's some invaders coming, and the sheriff would go, "I'll sort you out, son. Just let me have a quick drink." And it'd be like, little finger sticking out, it's an alien. So how many points is that to you so far? You're on 2 to 0. A convoy of refugee humans escape the destruction of their homeworld. Is that 1. Battlestar Galactica, 2. Lost in Space, 3. Star Trek, or 4. The Invaders? A Quinn Martin production.
No.
Right, I've got your answer. Gonna have to push you, Andy. And you're both correct. Battlestar Galactica. Well done. They're not... Yeah, they are humans. Like I say, from Caprica. A futuristic society. No one may live past the age of 30. So they will be exterminated by a police force known as Sandmen. Is it 1. Logan's Run, 2. Planet of the Apes, 3. Battlestar Galactica, or 4. Time Cop?
Well.
And you are both correct again. Yes, it's Logan's Run.
I'm still winning by 2 points.
Yeah.
You're such a douche.
If you lose this now, if I was you, Andy, I would celebrate so heartily. Brothers go searching for their father. Spooky stuff happens. Is it 1. Grimm, 2. Sapphire and Steel, 3. The Dukes of Hazzard, or 4. Supernatural? I've got your answer, Raoul.
Spooky.
You don't have to be a contortionist when you give me your...
I just don't want Andy seeing because he'll cheat.
Oh, as if I give a shit about what you choose.
What do you reckon?
Would you feel Punto?
Yeah. Because you may win the quiz, but I've won the cars. So I've got your answer, and the correct answer goes to Raoul again. Sapphire and Steel was Joanna Lumley in that one.
I've got to get a better car.
And David McCallum.
I'll have to work harder.
Where's your old car?
It overheated and died.
The answer to the last one was Supernatural, if you're playing along at home. Next one is... Mankind colonises the oceans. 1 lone submarine and keeps peace in this final frontier. Is it 1. The Return of Captain Nemo, 2. Sequest DSV, 3. Thunder in Paradise. You mess with thunder, you're messing with your life. You're playing with your life. Or 4. Nautilus. I've got your answer, Raoul. Your head was masking your fingers. You didn't need to add an extra little barrier on. Right, Andy got a pusher for us. And you're both correct. It was Sequest DSV. And who was the captain of the Sequest DSV?
Can't remember.
Birdseye?
It was, yeah. It was a story of him taking his fish fingers.
There was a dolphin in it that would talk
It was
to people.
Roy Schneider
Roy
from
Schneider.
Jaws.
I know it was Roy Schneider from Jaws, but I thought you wanted the character's name.
No, in fact, that was one of Roy Schneider from
Oh, right.
Jaws.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Right, so at the moment you are still winning. How many? 3 points to how
I'm
many?
2
he's
ahead
got?
of whatever he is.
2 ahead. Next one. Stuck in parallel universes trying to get home. Is it 1, Doctor Who, 2, Stargate Universe, 3, Fringe, or 4, Sliders? Got your answer. Did you have a crafty look then?
He did. He had a crafty look.
What do you think it is? 1, Doctor Who, 2, Stargate Universe, 3, Fringe, or 4, Sliders? And the answer is Sliders. So 3 points ahead for you now, Roll. I don't think there's any catching. Telepath gets involved in a supernatural world. Is that 1, The Dead Zone, 2, V, 3, True Blood, or 4, American Horror Story?
Is this the last question?
This is the last question.
Oh, doesn't matter if we get it wrong then, does it?
No. You smug shit. You've gone for The Dead Zone. Should we make this an all or nothing?
No.
Yeah.
If Andy gets it right, what do you think?
No!
I think you're right.
No! We did that once before and I lost. No.
I'm going to ask you.
I was in the-
Yeah, but I've done it before when I've
I'm going to ask you a third time to make it a double or nothing. So which one do you want to go for? Do you want to go for 1, 2, 3, or 4? You're going for 3. Andy's got it right. It's true.
I've won it.
No,
Yes!
we can't let you go and do that. Well done, Raoul. You've managed to win. Oh, it's not the last one. That was only question 9.
How many are there then?
There's 10. So we must
Oh
have messed it up.
no! I threw that away because I thought...
So would Andy tie with you?
Yeah. If I quite get these right.
Right, so a samurai hurled through time fights to return home. Is it 1, Samurai Jack, 2, Afro Samurai, 3, Cowboy Bebop, or 4, Samurai Pizza Cats? So a samurai... I spelled samurai wrong, haven't I? No, I haven't. Samurai hurled through time
I fluffed
flights
that
to get
last one
home.
because I thought I had it in the bag.
Is it 1, Samurai Jack, 2, Afro Samurai, 3, Cowboy Bebop, or 4, Samurai Pizza Cats? And your answer is Samurai Jack. And what are you going with, Andy? Might as well go out, let's say it out loud now. You're going with Samurai Jack as well. You sure you want to go with Samurai Jack?
No, bugger off! Don't. Oh wait, yeah. Hang on. Yeah, change your mind.
It's Samurai Jack. Yes. So, Raoul, you'd have won anyway because you chose it straight away.
I remember Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Just because of
Who
that.
do you call when you want some
So does that mean I've
pepperoni?
won?
Yes, let's be sure you have won.
I've won. Say it, admit it.
But not in life.
Why are you touching him?
Admit it, I've won.
As an
You are the
extra,
worst.
what about? Because you're only one behind Andy now, I think.
Yeah, only one behind.
What about if in the next 2 shows you catch him and he has to swap cars with you?
Oh yeah!
You're playing for pink slips, boys.
Well, logbooks.
We'll have a drag race.
Yeah.
I'd lose.
You both dress up as women and then run. Right, so that was Ultimate Geek. Well done, Raoul. You are slowly edging your way back to the front where you believe you belong.
Rightfully, yes.
Rightfully, yes. Right. Next week's quiz is going to be on Initial D.
Oh,
Make it on
I
Amigas.
hope. Initial D, that's where it's at. You know about what type of engines in a Nissan Skyline, don't you, Rob? You know, an RB26 deck.
Oh, you know this shit.
I'm going to be...
Oh, what was in the classic 80s SRI Civic? Was it a B16A2? Yeah.
You had a classic 80s Civic, though.
It was
You had a CRV.
Was that your Spoon Sports car?
Yeah.
So you bought your car based on liking the comic book Initial D?
No, it wasn't based on like the comic book. I bought the car, and then someone else I knew on the Civic CRX Owners Club. Who I met
You
up
are
with.
so good.
I am geeky. I take the mick out of you lot for that Ingress, but I have the same cars.
Civic RS.
Yeah.
Where's your furry dice?
He was into all that Initial D shit, and then I started looking at it from there. He was a real geek. He lived with a guy called
Geek.
Called Trev, who was really cool, and he collected all the Star Wars figures. And I'm not joking. Like now he's like married and settled down, but he has like a bedroom in his house, and it's just full of Star Wars figures. He's got hundreds of them.
That'll pay for his retirement.
He spends a fortune on them. Yeah, collects everything.
As a joke, you always goes on holiday, go in there, and then with the blowtorch melt them all.
He's even on his arm. He's got a tattoo of like a stormtrooper, like looking back like that with a gun, and then on the other one, he's got a big like Rebel Alliance tattoo on his other.
I got to say, have you seen the new trailer to
I have.
Star Wars? Oh, it's fucking ace, isn't it?
It does look good. It does look like it will make up for the travesty that were the prequels.
And Battlefront is out soon as well, isn't it? The new, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
The only reason I ever bought a PlayStation 3 in the first place was when PlayStation 2 broke. Battlefront was my favourite game on the PlayStation 2. Bought a PlayStation 3 because someone told me that you can play PlayStation 2 games on it, and you couldn't when I got it. I think you originally could play PlayStation 2 games on PlayStation 3. They did something to it, so the whole point of buying the PlayStation 3 was void. And I had to wait till the PlayStation 4 to get.
Have you got a PlayStation 4?
I have now, yeah.
Is that the PlayStation 4 there?
Yes, I got a PlayStation 3 in my studio.
Because the Xbox has been pissed on by the PlayStation 4. Absolutely annihilated it.
Well,
the sales.
I've heard there's rumours that they've been forced to lower the graphics on PlayStation 4 games so that they're not way above the old Xbox. That's what.
Why would they do that?
I think it handles graphics better. That's what I've been told.
What does the old Xbox?
No, the PlayStation does. They've had
Well,
to.
it will do because it's an evolution. So what they've been told they can't use the graphics chips.
Why
would they do that?
I haven't researched this for the show, so I'm going off my memory of what I read. That apparently, because the games have to look the same on all the different consoles, roughly, that they were downgrading the ones on the PlayStation so that they didn't look superior. And so
why is that? Is that because in order for
bear in mind, this is from something I read. Whether it's 100% true, I would need to fact check.
There have been cases where some franchisees or franchise, like when Batman came out on the Amiga, I think it was Ocean. I think it was Ocean that had the license to make it. They paid at the time $1 million to have it, which was absolutely huge. And I know that they were. In order to release the game onto some consoles, if I recall correctly, some of the console manufacturers would say they could only get a license for that console if they made the other consoles look inferior, because they were inferior at the time to whatever it was they were. But they didn't do it in the end because I can't remember the exact ins and outs.
What you're saying sounds pretty similar. I think the idea is that the graphics are meant to look the same, and that because it can do better, the story was.
Well, it's because they don't want the competition. But the trouble is, I don't know how that would wash today, because there's all sorts of competition laws. I don't think a manufacturer could say make your product shit because our product's going to be shit.
Yeah, that can be your job as our IT expert. Look into that, find out for us, Raoul.
We might just edit that
next
section
episode
out because it might all be wrong.
I don't matter. Well, someone might message us from once, other than to slag you off or say something.
Well, people slag me off.
The only mail we get is people asking questions about you.
Mail.
Is he a real person?
Yeah.
Is he really so fascist?
Why don't you
I'm not a fascist. I'm a liberal.
I'm a libertarian, so I'm a member of the Liberal Democrats.
There's a lot of abusive shit out there. Like,
what people have been saying?
They said something about why don't he just shove a glass tube up his penis and smash it with a hammer?
Yeah.
Then listen to you talk. That's what they'd rather do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, then don't listen to the bloody podcast.
The guy who messaged it 5 times, all within 1 hour, the same message over and over again.
Did he do it then?
No, he's on about you putting a glass tube up your Jap's eye and smashing it with a hammer.
Why would I want to do that?
And I think he's got a link in email address. So Mr. A Cook.
No, delete all this. Don't my investors.
No. Anyway, let's get on to Comic of the Week. As I said, I went to this Lakes Comic Art Festival, and last week we talked about this awesome thing, which is this Clockwork Watch, which is this huge kind of multi-platform story told through films, comic books. They make artifacts and all that which help tell a story. And we spoke about that, and I actually met the guy who kind of launched it all, this guy called Yomi Ayeni, and he's into steampunk, and he was at some event, and he realised there was no black people because he's got dreadlocks and all, he's a big black guy, and he realised there was no black people into steampunk, and he thought, I wonder why this is. And obviously steampunk plays into kind of the imperialistic past.
He's into steampunk, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's black.
He's the only one there. He thought, why am I the only dude here? So he decided... Well, this was his beginning thought. He thought, what is it that puts off people who aren't mainly people who aren't white from getting involved with it?
Because they're probably cooler than us.
Steampunk's cool.
It is cool, but
so when you talk about coolness, I don't consider myself in the same coolness category, Mr. Amiga 30th.
Oh, no, I'm not cool. I'm completely uncool. On the coolness scale, I'm like, you know...
You're baking hot.
No, I was going to say...
Sahara.
Sub-Zero.
I'm probably But that's the weird thing. On a coolness scale, Sub-Zero means you're really cool. So actually...
Yes, listeners, that would mean you're cooler.
Yeah. So then I'm like the sun.
I think we understand.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Something very hot, are you saying?
I'm something very hot, so I'm not at all cool.
So if you want to be good at science, stay in school, kids. Just like Raoul did. So, thanks for sidetracking me there. So anyway, I met this dude, and the first comic book they brought out, part of this long-running story that they're working on, it's a 5-year project, was The Arrival. I've read it, you've read it, we've looked at it, I don't know if you got a chance to read it as thoroughly as I did.
I've read it all the way through, but I will say that it is one of the most beautifully drawn books I've seen in a long time.
It is. It's. It looks like it's been hand-painted, watercoloured.
Yeah.
And then possibly is there a bit of pencil crayon put on top of it. It looks really nice. You know what I like the best about this? It sets the scene wonderfully.
Yes.
It features it's a steampunk version of London where there's been a massive depression going on. The rich are rich, the poor are getting poorer, and this Indian guy gets brought over, and the Ranbir family, and he's invented some automaton with some kind of heart thing, and this kicks off the whole story of a Clockwork Watch. The idea that you have these mechanised workers who, some of them kind of become sentient. His son, who's featured as a young boy in this, I think in the next one, because there's 3 comic books, this one's out now, the sequel's out, and there's another one coming out start of next year, I think, which tells a story. Because in the next one, the main character, who's this genius called Chan Ranbir, who builds this kind of clockwork man, his son doesn't get on with him, and in the next book he leads this kind of group of like Luddites who'd want to get rid of all the robots. And this book, there's not loads of action in it, but it sets the groundwork for what's going to come.
From what I mean, I'd say I haven't read it all the way through yet, but from what I have read so far, it seems to be paced really well. It's well written. It's beautifully drawn. I love it.
It finishes, and when I was talking to Yomi, the guy who came up with this, what he says is with all these things, he wants to give glimpses of things and let other people play within the world.
Yes.
And that I've said before on last week's show, when we talked about it, that he wants other people to get involved with it. And so this is like a jumping off point, and then people can create their own bits to it. And that's what a lot of the stuff they do. So that is our comic of the week this week. It's called The Arrival. Its art is by Jenny, I'll say her name wrong, Gail Blad, written by Corey Brotherson and Yomi Ayeni. Where does Ayeni from? Ayeni. Well worth getting. There's another book out already, based in the same universe. Look up Clockwork Watch, steampunk, and you'll find out about it. Well worth looking into. It also won an award. It was the 2011 Best Crowdfunded Comic Campaign on Indiegogo.
It was crowdfunded?
Yeah, the first one was. I asked him when I spoke to him, and I want to try and get him on for an interview. I said, were you big in the scene of steampunk? And he went, no. I said, did you know all these other people? He went, no. He came up with the idea, and then other people kind of took it on board. And it's so cool that inside this comic book there's an advert for this drink, this alcoholic drink. That's a real drinks company who got into steampunk, and now they've tied their product in with his storyline.
Nice.
And there's lots of elements like that, where people have tied themselves in to this world, which you can be involved with as well. So that's The Arrival, drawn very well. I love the artwork in it as well. It stands out. It's not like kind of a normal comic book in that you're drawn like an American style superhero one.
No, it's I would say it's properly illustrated. It's not.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks great. So go out and buy that. That's the comic book of the week. And finally, to finish the show off, we've got our upcoming con, and it's WinterCon. It's October the 31st, Halloween to November the 1st. It's Eastbourne Winter Gardens, and this looks like a pretty cool event, actually, if I do say so myself. I'll show you some of the stuff, which is quickly talk you through it before we run out of time. I'm aware that the storage is nearly full on my... So we've got a bunch of different guests there. People like Norman Lovett, Terry Malloy, who plays Davros, Virginia Hay, who Raoul's insulted from afar, Emily Booth's there. In fact, there's a bunch of people who you've insulted at some point in your life. But this is...
Are you supposed to be scary?
Yeah. Looks like she's had a lot of work done, doesn't she? Have you seen her face? Ah. So, why is she crying? She got rolled, that's why. Now, this is going on, and there's an evening do where they're going to have comedians and stuff. So there's lots going on at this thing. So I'll just give you a few ideas of some of the attractions and all that. There's comic book and artist zones, and there's a bunch of really good cartoonists going there. You can check the website yourself.
I like the website too.
It looks nice, doesn't it? It's got this nice Darth Vader and Loki, but with loads of images in. You can see Tim Burton's Batmobile is going to be there.
Wow.
The Iron Throne from Game of Thrones is going to be there. There's going to be this weird thing called Lawn of the Dead, which is some kind of children and arty people can get involved with. I don't fully know that, but it sounds interesting. And there's going to be a big Ed 209 robot replica there. What more do you want? And then there's the evening do as well, which sounds fun. Now, what I like about this is that when we went to the Lakes Comic Art Festival, there was stuff that was very kid friendly that get involved and draw their own comic books. This looks very similar to that as well. So yeah, they're doing this special night in the evening, which is this retro alien invasion. They invite you to go dressed up for it. There's going to be a band, there's comedians, and it just looks like it's going to be a pretty cool event. And then obviously there's the day stuff. You can go and you see all the different traders and stuff like that.
It does look good.
It does, doesn't it? So that's our con of the week. That is WinterCon. You can see that at www.winter, spelt wintercon.com, and you can find out all about it. And that's our con of the week. We're done.
Excellent.
Right, so we'll see you all. So we say goodbye then.
Goodbye then.
Goodbye. Ugh. So it's goodbye from Raoul. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Andy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me.
That was ghastly. That was ghastly. That was ghastly. That was ghastly.